Hello, and welcome to this week's weather briefing on Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. My name is Joseph Patton, and I am a meteorologist and researcher with the Cooperative Institute for Satellite and Earth System Studies at the University of Maryland. This week, we're talking about heavy lake effect snow around the Great Lakes region, also strong Santa Ana winds returning to Southern California, and winter cold setting in across much of the central United States. Starting with a quick look at the current weather hazards across the United States. In purple, you can see that there are winter weather advisories for portions of the Intermountain West and northern New England, and that there are lake effect snow warnings in the blue-green color for portions downwind of the Great Lakes in the Midwest region, and that we also have air stagnation advisories in gray out west in Oregon, California, and Idaho, as well as high wind warnings in Southern California from those Santa Ana winds. Upper level winds from the Global Forecast System, or GFS model, show a strong upper level trough present over much of the United States. This is bringing a region of strong upper level winds that is providing some upper level support for precipitation, a lot of which is falling as snow around the Great Lakes region, where there's enhanced surface level support for additional ascent and leading to more precipitation. As this trough, however, continues to push eastward, the Global Forecast System model is also showing that quieter weather is in place for this coming weekend and early next week for much of the United States before a strong upper level trough is expected to form as we get closer to the end of next week and into Thanksgiving. So that may be our next big disturbance on the horizon in terms of impactful weather to portions of the United States. Focusing in on the extreme lake effect snow expected over the next several days for the Great Lakes region, NWS Buffalo is currently forecasting up to 3 feet of snow for most of the Buffalo metro area through this weekend. These conditions have winds flowing along the length of the lake, and that's creating these conditions that are very conducive to repeated heavy snowfall as this cold air flows over the relatively warmer waters of the Great Lakes, and that provides this intense but very local support for heavy snowfall to form on that lee side of the lake in the direction that the wind is flowing. And what that creates is stark changes of snowfall over very small areas. But it's very difficult to predict where those stark changes in snowfall are going to be because it really depends on the direction of the winds. So as you can see from this one model prediction solution from the NAM-NEST model in the lower right, there are very strong lines of where heavy bands of snow are falling according to the model, and those are really dependent upon the direction and intensity of the winds at the time. So it's going to be a very difficult forecast, and multiple feet of snow are expected for a major metro area. Large portions of the northern United States are expected to receive some snowfall over the next several days due to widespread cool temperatures and that trough that's slowly moving eastward outside of the United States. The probability of at least 2 inches of snow from the Weather Prediction Center in the lower image shows that much of the downwind areas of the Great Lakes are going to experience a very high probability of at least 2 inches of snow, as well as large portions of the northern plains and the Intermountain West. And that additional surface-based support for heavy snow will exist into the Great Lakes region, as we talked about, with more than a foot of snow becoming increasingly likely for just those specific areas. It looks like the Northeast Urban Corridor is expected to remain snow-free this week, but keep your eyes peeled and stay tuned for any updates for any disruptions to travel plans for next week's weather systems. Strong Santa Ana winds were observed in Southern California earlier today, Wednesday. The forecast late last night from NWS San Diego showed they were expecting regions of wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour for some areas. These Santa Ana winds are extremely dry, gusty winds that can lead to wildfires becoming out of control and cause other structural damage just to the strength of the winds. And what we can see from local news from earlier today, Wednesday morning, is that those Santa Ana winds did feed into wildfires that required the resources to fight, and as well caused some damage in different areas. So the strong Santa Ana winds were definitely a concern in Southern California earlier today. What's typically observed when we have a situation where strong Santa Ana winds occur is we have a very strong high pressure system that's located over the Great Basin region of the United States, where you kind of have that large desert region. And the winds around high pressure systems tend to want to flow clockwise. So we get winds flowing high pressure clockwise like this. And this promotes widespread downslope winds moving clockwise around the high pressure system, and these winds are extremely dry because they're coming from that desert region, and these dry downslope winds then become even faster and faster as they continue to go downslope, and that causes these extreme wind speeds, which were recorded up to 94 miles per hour for NWS San Diego's warning area. So this is a extreme case of strong Santa Ana winds leading to extreme wind gusts from that very strong high pressure system located over the Great Basin region. The main weather hazards for the next week or two will be below normal temperatures, especially for the north central United States this week and probably into next week as well. Heavy snow near those Great Lakes regions where you've got the strong snowfall rates from the lake effect snow, especially for the Buffalo metro region. And then also some heavy precipitation possibly developing next week as the next upper level trough develops, and could possibly also bring some heavy snow to the north central United States, but details are still a little unclear on that. So definitely stay aware of the weather conditions where you are, and listen to forecasts from your local meteorologist, from the National Weather Service, and from your broadcast services. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week.